Okay, so it's now live streaming on Facebook. I'm recording it as well. My name's Graham from Tri Coaching Partnership. This is Nicky Harris. Nicky, let's kick off this interview. Tell me about yourself.
Okay, so in terms of my ADI career, it started 18 years ago. I was, at the time, actually previously training to run a nursery. I was going to open nurseries, and I thought that was a good thing to get into. I'd done quite a lot of the training. And then my husband's family business closed. So we were in a situation where he was looking for work. And for whatever reason, he found it quite hard. And I started just thinking about what else I could do to help, the family. Yep. So I said to my mum, I think I'm going to be a driving instructor. And my mum is very, very supportive. And she went, oh, you'll be fantastic at that, Nicky. You'll be brilliant. You talk to people. And I actually went for an interview with one of the larger organisations. And unbeknown to me, they tell everyone this, I think, but they said, oh, you'll make a fantastic driving instructor, where's your money? And I didn't even go home and discuss it. I paid my money for the full course there and then and decided that's what I was going to do and I would make a go of it. So I trained with them and buddied up with somebody, which was really good. So he and I used to practice virtually all the time. He was working nights, I wasn't working, and we just put everything into it. For I qualified in 8 months from starting, so passed everything first time. For probably first time in my life, I've actually passed everything first time. But it just, I loved it, and I had the idea straight away that I was going to run my own business. I called it the Driving Academy, not my name. I wanted to have a multi-car school. So it kind of took off from there. After the first year, I took my first ADI on, and so that was 2002 I started. So I got up to about 6 with 2 training. It was, a nice team, and we'd gone through 2007, 2008, which was hard, but we'd all managed to keep busy, so we built up quite a good reputation. 2010, I had an accident, which kind of changed things a bit. So I was at a party, and a person who was a friend, shall I say, picked me up and ran with me down the garden and threw me onto a deflated bouncy castle. And I broke my back and permanently damaged my nerves in my spinal cord. So that was kind of a bit of it was a massive, massive life-changing event. So the 4 years following that were kind of quite hard, and gradually some of my instructors went off, moved away to Australia, had families, and I didn't replace them. I kind of, in honesty, had all on keeping going, but I still had 2 that had been with me. And then in 2014 I did a course. My doctor sent me to St Thomas's Hospital, where they have a pain management clinic there. It was a residential course, and we didn't know what we were going for, but I was at a very, very low point and didn't really want to continue life with such an injury and, not being able to do the things that I used to do. So the course was life-changing in itself. And when I did it, I didn't want to affect the business. So I actually had to go from Monday to Friday in London. And I used to come home Friday night at 10 o'clock and I worked all Saturday, all Sunday, Monday till lunchtime, back down to London. So I saw my pupils once a fortnight, but I crammed them all into the weekend. So the course was about acceptance and commitment therapy. And it was really just accepting where you are. Yeah. Exactly, you're not going to change. You're not going to necessarily make yourself any worse, and you won't change. And it wasn't an immediate revelation to me, but over the years that's helped an awful lot. And I first learned actually how to do mindfulness on Westminster Bridge, overlooking the Houses of Parliament. So my 4 weeks in London I loved, because my sister and my mum are down there. So it was kind of a bit of a novel living in the centre of London. So anyway, that was 2014. 2015, I came on the BTEC 4 course. I've done lots of CPD before that, lots of coaching courses, all sorts of things, anxiety, critical thinking, if there's a course, I often do it because I feel if there's one thing I can take from it, then it's beneficial. So I met you guys then, and was blown away by, obviously at that time I'd only met yourself and Sue. Then I thought, right, I'm not going to let this accident define my business. It's made an effect, so I didn't want it to define all of my life. So I decided I'm going to start retraining instructors and grow my school again. So I kind of refreshed with you doing a train the trainer, just to make sure I was still knew what I was doing. And since then I have worked my socks off to build the school. So I've got 6 instructors, all trained by me, so which is good. I've got a PDI who's literally just started before we went in lockdown, and then I've got 2 that are in training now. So it's going the way I want to do, and I'm really pleased, actually. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. What a story, Nicky. Yeah, I'm impressed. But I want to be nosy now, because you told me about your life from 18 years being an ADI. Tell me a little bit about yourself before that.
Well, when we had the children, I was at home, so I was a mother, always volunteering for different charities and stuff. I always wanted to be busy, and before that, I'd worked in estate agency, financial services. I worked for some photographers, so I've done various things. In actual fact, I went to college. I'm not the most academic person, and I left school. Maybe because I messed about too much, actually, to be honest. But I left school and I had to go to college, and I didn't want to be at college. And my dad said, you can't leave unless you've got a job. And I literally walked around the town where the college was, and I went into everywhere and said, will you give me a job? And I got a job. So I left college then, and I've just kind of gone on from there, really. So I'm kind of a bit of a believer in fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Certainly another job I got later on, the company I was working for at the time, it was kitchen kind of builders, and they were going into liquidation. So I went for an interview with some photographers, and I'd done some of the accounts and I'd done a lot of PA work, and they kind of at the interview they said, oh, you'll have to do the accounts up to profit and loss stage and do the VAT returns. And I was, yeah, that's absolutely fine. Yes, I can do that, no problem. Thinking inside, oh my goodness. So I kind of rushed back to the liquidators and said, guys, can you show me how to do this? I've just told them. Anyway, I did get the job. And I had to take the work home because I didn't know what I was doing. So it took me so long, I had to take it home. And I always thought that I'd kind of pulled the wool over their eyes, until quite a number of years later, I bumped into my old boss in a pub locally, and he kind of put his arm around me and he said to my girlfriend, said, oh, this girl's amazing, we loved her, you know. And he said, when she came, she told us she could do all these things, but we knew she couldn't, but we knew that she'd work it out. Wow. So I am a believer in you've got to just go for it, really, and try it. And if you believe in yourself, then you know you can do these things. Yeah,
that boss sounds like they'd make a great coach. An absolutely great coach. Yeah, action. If you do nothing, you get nothing. If you do something, you get feedback. Whether you're good or bad, you get feedback and you can improve upon it. So yeah, no, I buy into that completely. So now I want to take you forward a little bit.
Okay.
Where would you like your career to be 5 years from now?
Well, definitely not retiring, having experienced lockdown, because it's not for me. I just want to continue to grow the school. I mean, the satisfaction I get with learners, obviously, but also with PDIs. So people are coming to you for whatever reason they're wanting a change in career, and I do 100% love my job, absolutely love it. Probably more and more each year, and that's because I've developed and I've done more courses, and I think you see it from different perspectives as well, so which is good. But I just think that, you know, I've got a lovely team now, so that's my kind of ethos, is that we've got a team. It's quite a lonely job being a driving instructor, so I'm very keen that everybody's involved, everybody's opinion matters. You know, it's not just what I've got to say, you know, we're all part of the team, and keep involved with each other. So I don't want to be massive, but I would like to just grow a little bit more, and hopefully keep everybody, you know, keep the team going, and see them flourish, because it's brilliant to, you know that you've helped them along that path,
Yeah,
and,
no, absolutely.
and their own success. I love it, absolutely love it.
Okay, because that's such a rewarding thing to see other people grow. And I can say that about, you know, your association with us at Tri Coaching Partnership, to watch you grow, to watch the other members of the teams grow, but more importantly, to see the team grow together, and how much fun you'll have when you get together is amazing. What do you want to improve in yourself over the next year?
What do I want to improve? Probably finish some of the things that I've started.
Okay.
I'm very good at starting, not always at finishing. So I think I need to do that. Lockdown's been really good in some ways for reflecting. I've worked 7 days a week for probably the last 8 or 9 years, because I used to walk a lot, and when I realized I couldn't, I replaced it with work. So I've done lots of clearing out of the house that I probably should have done. Will I work as much post-lockdown? Probably, but I know that it's better to have a little bit more time off. So, but I've enjoyed, I think it's good to reflect. It's given time, life is busy, and it's good to just reflect. So probably just be a little bit more, well, organized. I am quite organized, but maybe more organized and more streamlined, and focus my attention so that I can perhaps have a little bit more time off.
Okay, yeah, that I like that focus attention. You know, sometimes you've got to focus on the one thing, haven't you, and then you can move on. Because if you're running a business, it's difficult because you've got all those different areas to look at, and then you forget you're all about others, and you forget about yourself.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So how would you describe your training style?
I'm very interested in people. So when I'm training, I do want to know what they're thinking and feeling. Obviously, that's something that has developed over the years anyway. But I think I always did want to know that, you know, so that you can judge. You need to know what somebody's actually thinking themselves, to be able to help them. Firm but fair, I would say, and I'm very encouraging in letting people, or encouraging them to have a go. So I get quite a lot of nervous pupils who, for one reason or another, maybe been elsewhere, not been encouraged, or have not got confidence. And I do feel, so I'm told anyway, that I do encourage people to have that confidence and just have a go. And it literally doesn't matter if it doesn't work out, because I'm there, and I've got their back. So so supportive of them. Yeah,
it's creating that safe environment, isn't it? That relationship. So that allows people to grow. That's great. Nicky, what inspires you?
What inspires me? Probably anything to do with positivity and kindness, I think. I couldn't say any one particular person inspires me. Doing the therapy that I did in London did change my perspective on life. So I think if you can be kind, really, to other people, you know, that is the most important thing, you know, to just and be positive even if you don't feel it. But so I think anyone that's kind of we don't all have to be happy to be positive, and it doesn't mean to say that we're positive all the time. So I think if, you know, other people, I look at other people who inspire me in that way with their positivity. Sometimes they might make me feel a bit inadequate because they're so, you know, full of action and what have you, and I then think, oh dear, I'm not doing very much. But then I have a word with myself, because it's okay not to do everything, and it's okay to have not good days. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, no, I agree with that as well. I mean, it echoes with me as well. I want something you were talking about helping people, and it just reminded me. tell me about your Facebook group you've got with Woody. Yeah, because that's for helping people.
Yeah, that's, well, calming your anxious mind. Well, Woody obviously set that up because he did a course, and it is, I have to say, the loveliest group on Facebook, because everybody who's on it is there knowing that there's no judgment, no criticism. We're all there to support each other. And particularly, you know, over the last few months, a lot of people, and generally, but over the last few months, I think a lot of people have found it very hard. So it's somewhere where they can express their feelings without knowing they're going to get any criticism for it, but just encouraged to try something new, or that there's somebody there to talk to them at the end of the phone if they want it, or on Messenger, however. And just by giving that kind of nice, lovely feeling, you know, of being included and knowing that it's okay. So that's I mean, it's Woody's group. I'm just kind of helping him out, really.
But yeah, I know it's okay to be not okay.
It is, yeah.
You know, and I think people forget that because social media has this image all the time, and I sometimes feel guilty of it myself. That it's all, you know, positive, but you know, that's probably why I did the roaming rambler stuff, really, just to be a bit
human.
Human, yes. Or mad, I think, half the time. I posted in that group, Calming Your Anxious Minds, and I think I must be driving them all completely nuts. They were calm before I turned up. Tell me about, because you mentioned, you know, I know you've done the BTEC level 4 with us, and that inspired you, but where did your coaching journey begin? What brought you into coaching?
Probably Ian Edwards, I would say. The guy I buddied up with, Paul, he and I would kind of stayed in contact, and you know, if ever there was a course, we kind of say, oh, do you fancy doing this? Because we both, the way we trained together, in fact, other people didn't want to train with us because they felt we were a bit harsh, but we were always honest, because if you're training for that part 3, you've got to be honest. There's no point telling somebody they're wonderful if they're not, really. So I think we were a bit of a force to be reckoned with as a couple. So we looked, I think there was something with Atom and Ian Edwards. So kind of going down the coaching, that coaching kind of theme there. And I thought I did coach until I did the BTEC 4. And then I thought, oh, maybe I'm not actually coaching as much as I think I am. I've also done a separate qualification with the ILM. So some coaching with that, which nothing to do with driving, which was really good a few years ago. Again, coaching breaks down barriers, because I mean, at the time we were in a room, and a lot of the people there, in my opinion, were better than me for whatever reason, careers or whatever. And the thought of being in a coaching cohort with them absolutely scared me to death. I thought, oh gosh, you know, what am I going to say? And we kind of split into these threes. But the feedback then that you get, you realize that you can do it, and it doesn't actually matter what level somebody is in terms of their career or what you perceive somebody to be, that we all have things that we need to talk about, and other people can help you to see the way clear. So I think, you know, doing all these different things, as I say, if you just take one thing from it, it can help you, and you can just build on that then, really. And I wished I'd done, not that I was a bad mother, or hopefully not a bad mother, but I wished I'd done more coaching before I had children, because I think that I would have probably had a different approach to motherhood. Yeah,
that's interesting. But it's interesting you say that, because I mean, like, bringing up my children as a coach, and maybe I just thought it was a male female divide. I would go, chuck him out without his coat on. No, wrap him up warm, and you know, he's come home blue. I said, well, hey, you've worked out it's cold outside. You know, was that me just as a bad parent, or was that me coaching? I've got no idea. Okay, what's your proudest achievement? We'll take the kids out the equation, but what's your proudest achievement?
Oh, well, I mean, my business, definitely. The coming back, I think, more than the starting. The starting was pretty good, and I was pleased with it, but I feel to have come back from where I was, I am really proud of that, both personally and professionally. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. So, what do you like to do? Because Nicky, all I hear is you just work, 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 work. I know you're a little bit better than that. I mean, and I see you go on your travels to London and you have girly days out. So tell me about what you like to do.
Outside work, friends are really, really important to me. I've spoken to all my friends on Zoom and what have you whilst we've been in lockdown, and I don't get to see them very often because I do work a lot, or well, we're all working.
Yeah.
But the days that we have, we literally laugh from morning till night. You know, we never stop laughing. We're really close friends, so I really enjoy that. We go on trips. To be honest, we go to places, but we always say it doesn't really matter where we are, as long as we've got somewhere to sit down and have a glass of wine or a coffee, we'll be happy anyway. So that's important. I like being outside. I used to walk a lot. Obviously I can't now. Had a little bit of a disaster this week. I did go on to get a mobility scooter last year because I was fed up of not doing the exercise. So I got a wheelchair initially so that somebody could push me, because I missed not being part of the social group. That was a massive part of our life. I'm not always very slim, so listening to somebody huffing and puffing behind me, knowing that I'm causing them to do that was not very pleasant, but I still do use it sometimes. But I decided eventually last year to use a mobility scooter, because I enjoy the fresh air, I like being outside, and I like bumping into people. So before I was maybe taking the dog to the park, driving there, getting out, walking a few steps, sitting down, throwing the ball, whatever. So I got this mobility scooter, and I feel I'm like on a quad bike. I whiz round on it, charge about, and I absolutely love it because you're feeling the wind through your hair, and if something hasn't been taken away from you, you don't know what you're missing. Well, okay, maybe you don't feel the wind through your hair. But just that feeling of being outside, but bumping into people as I did when I was walking, you know, just and having a chat, I absolutely love, because I'm a real people person. So yeah, family is very important to me, and close friends, as I say. And I love entertaining. I love cooking and having people around and just, you know, entertaining them, feeding them all up.
Okay, I got a couple of sort of, they're not negative questions, but they're just, I just want to ask them, what's your greatest fear?
Any exam.
Okay.
Really, I would say yes. I wasn't brilliant at exams at school, for whatever reason. Perhaps didn't reach my true potential, but that's another story. So yeah, so it's that. I mean, I did my audit, you know, which you encouraged me to do. You told me, you know, to just get on and do it. And when I did it, I had such a fabulous test and such amazing feedback from the examiner. You know, it was just like, oh gosh, why didn't you just get on and do that? Because I think it took me about 9 months from, you know, you and I getting together and discussing it. So and I don't know why. Well, it's the fear of failure, obviously, isn't it? You know, really.
It's a normal fear.
Yeah, you know, I'm other things I'm not necessarily that afraid of. I just will get on and do them. As I said, I've done that with jobs and things in the past. But it's that fear of failure of an exam. But of course, the worst thing that can happen is you have to do it again. So it doesn't really matter. And actually, on the strength of that audit test that I did, the examiner has put me forward to be part of a group of trainers, recommended me for some discussions that are taking place with the DVSA regarding moving forward with trainer part 2, part 3, etc. So I must have made quite a good impression, because it was nearly 2 years ago. So I was quite proud.
Well done. Yeah, well done. Well done.
But it's just that you don't want to fail, and you don't want other people to think of you, oh, you can't do it. You know, she's not capable.
Yeah, I think you know, stand up, show up. I think it's a challenge for all of us. It's working out that actually there's really nothing happens. It's, you know, no one cares whether you pass or whether you fail. It's only you and how you deal with it. You know, there's no judgment from anybody else, because we've all been there.
No, but we're all our own worst critics, aren't we?
Yeah, yes.
So it's getting across that, isn't it?
Yeah. I think I'm learning to be more stoic. It's something that I've set myself over these 3 months. It's learning to be more stoic. Right, I've got the killer question now. Okay, this is the one that everyone has to answer. It doesn't last very long. Right, how do you think I rate as an interviewer?
Oh, excellent.
Excellent. Move on. No, that's enough. Okay, thank you.
You don't want any more feedback.
No, I don't want any more. No. There's nowhere to go. I'll buy excellent.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
off. Okay.
You don't want to know why.
No, no. Okay. I've got no idea.
No, you actually listen. You know, so sometimes when people are interviewing, they're too busy thinking about the next question, because they're not really listening to the answer. And this is what we've got to be careful of in the car, isn't it, when we're coaching? That if in our mind we're thinking about what we're going to ask next, we're not really taking any notice of what somebody's saying. And actually what they're saying is where your next question is going to come from. So, yeah, of course, I wouldn't expect anything different from you, Graham.
Okay, but they're not always. I mean, because, you know, I've also got an agenda as well, you know, because I want to find out about you. And so I've got those agendas. But yes, definitely listening to what you say, because I find the interview interesting. I always find interviewing the person I want to know more. I don't give a shit about the audience. Sorry, audience. It's just about me. Okay, so let's just change this thing. What kind of car do you drive?
Audi A3.
Audi A3, very nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, there's no right or wrong answer to this, but if you could be anywhere in the world right now, where would you be? Forget COVID. So
I live in a very beautiful part of the country. I didn't even say where I was, did I? Up in Yorkshire. If I could be anywhere, it would be it's a hotel that we've been going to for about 29 years in the Lake District, and it's looking over Windermere, and the conservatory just looks over the lake. So that would be my go-to place. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I like water. I like a view. You can give me the name of the hotel after this, and
okay.
You know, when we're out of this mess, I might go there. Tell me, what's the last book you've read?
The last book I read was The Impact Code by Nigel Risner.
Okay, ooh, good. And what's the best movie or box set that you've watched in the last year?
Well, normally I don't watch lots of television, but that has been different over the last 3 months. In fact, one of the best films is a really old one, which I'd never seen, which was The Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah,
I thought that was excellent. Yeah, and we've watched quite a few series. I do like series. I couldn't probably name any one particular, because once I've watched them, I've kind of forgotten them really. Yeah. I've enjoyed them and I'm into them, but The Stranger, I think The Stranger was very good. That was on, I don't know what it's on. I'm not in control of the remote control.
Oh, yeah, no. I'm lucky that I am, but I can go some days without watching TV. So I don't even know BBC or ITV or anything. There's the stuff that's on. Okay, so we're coming to the close. I've got a couple of funny type questions, but if you were an animal, which one would you want to be?
Okay. At one time, when asked that question, I would always say a lion.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say that now. Even though I know you do love cats. I'm not a big cat lover, but probably more of a cat with the 9 lives, so you can kind of come back and try again. So I would say that, really, yes, yeah.
I'm not a cat lover. I'm just owned by the neighbour's cat.
Right.
You know, I had no choice. Yeah, she's decided that she owns me. That's it. Yeah, she attacks every female that comes into my household.
Oh, does she?
Bites, scratches them. Yeah. It's quite funny, really. Okay, if you could choose one superhero power, what would it be and why?
Well, it's got to be kindness, really. Yeah, kindness. I think if that is what makes us all go round, isn't it? So, yeah.
Okay.
I think if everybody could be kind, it would be a lovely place. Always.
Fantastic. Well, I can't. I can only agree wholeheartedly. Yeah, it's something to aspire to be kind all the time, and sometimes challenging. So that's
Oh,
fantastic.
absolutely. Yeah.
Right, I'm going to try and stop this live stream. So
Okay.
I'm going to
Thank you
say
very
goodbye
much.
from me. Goodbye
Okay.
from Nicky.
Goodbye.
Okay, I'm stopping the live stream there, and